again. So final video review for this week is for High October by Elena Graf. If you would like to check out my Goodreads review, I have just posted that the other day, so if you're on YouTube there is a link in the description below, and if you are on Facebook or on my blog post, then there is a link within the post. And this is the video review. So High October by Elena Graf. This was quite the roller coaster of a story. Again, I haven't read anything by Elena Graf before, so this was a new sort of author for me, a new story for me, and I wasn't sure what to expect either. So it's basically a story about Liz and Maggie, who met in college, had a relationship in college, and 40 years later they're reunited, sort of as an act of a result of fate, I guess. Maggie's injured whilst working on a small town performance that just happens to be in Maine, which just happens to be where Liz lives, and is a doctor, and comes to her rescue. So whilst Maggie's recovering from her injuries, Liz sort of says, well, come and stay with me, and it gives them an opportunity to sort of catch up, discuss the past, and rekindle that little flame that was extinguished years ago. So after all these years, they're obviously getting a chance to be happy if they can make it work. A lot's changed in that time, and they didn't think they would get this chance, so they're sort of working on whether it's worth taking that opportunity now in their lives. And nothing's ever that simple, and the road to happiness for them isn't easy. But what I liked about this, and the most endearing thing about this story, is it didn't fit a standard norm for romance. So romance stories, when I've read them in this genre, they're usually either young couples, or they're sort of aged gapped, or they're sort of what I would call middle-aged, so you know, 40s, 50s, nothing more really than that. But when you've got like 40s or 50s, it's usually in that age gap genre. So the nice thing about High October by Elena Graf is that she has taken a story and got two main characters. And I have read other books that have had two main characters like this, but they're both representing older women. And I think this is a representation that, like I say, out of all the romance I've read in this genre, I've only read a couple that have the representation for older women. And so I think it's really lovely that she's also decided to throw in some representation there. So if that's something that you enjoy reading, this is a definite read for you, because it's got that representation there, and it was wonderful to see. But it also made an interesting dynamic, because again, when you do romance with older people, as we all know, and I mean, I know even at my age how much older I feel than when I was much younger, and you have different things to overcome. It completely changes a relationship dynamic. 40 years between Liz and Maggie having seen one another, that's a long time. Lots change in 40 years, like a lot of things change, and so it changes the dynamic of the relationship and the characters and how they perceive the world. And I love that. It gives new life into a genre that's quite sort of the same in everything you read in terms of the characters' development, because characters who are 30, characters who are 40, they can only have developed so far because they've only had so much life experience. Older characters who are sort of in their 50s and 60s or even over 60, carry more life experience, therefore the whole dynamic is different. I really love that Eleanor covered that in this, and she took quite sensitive subjects as well in here. Like I say, it was quite the roller coaster. You've got that initial meeting after 40 years, then you've got other things going on in their lives. Obviously older people, you've got health complications, you've got family obligations, there was just so much covered that were sensitive subjects, and she handled them all in a very realistic way. Even though they were really unexpected in the story, they added to the drama and the angst, and they created a lot of tension that meant Liz and Maggie had more to give you because of all that life experience and thought processes, actions, and just that whole dynamic. It really built the story. You needed these things to build a plot, drive it forward, build a story, give you a story basically. And after everything they went through, like I say, it really added a level of angst and tension to this. So it really was quite the drama-filled story. Like, it was literally up, down, up, down, up, down, because for Liz, she's quite certain and quite sure of herself. She's quite stubborn. You know, she knows what she wants, but she's not overly good with the social interaction on some levels, to the same level Maggie is. And Maggie, she needed a lot of help and support. She was a lot more sort of vulnerable than Liz, and so that again made their chemistry and everything, even after all those years, it really did work. And you could see they really loved each other, but again, because of their personalities, you had this sort of way that changed as people as well. So where you've got a strong character, you've also got a worried and vulnerable character, and together they're both vulnerable, because although Liz sees things very black and white compared to Maggie, she's still sensitive and insecure and unsure of what this all means, because Maggie's got a family. Maggie's got a husband that she's divorced from, and she's got baggage, I guess, as you would call it, and Liz, her life didn't play out like that, and so there's a lot of history there's a lot of feeling, emotion, and they balanced each other really nicely and really added to bringing the drama through their personalities. So I really enjoyed reading something that was a bit different here, a different sort of balance, not only in relationship but in story and plot and everything. And I really recommend this for anyone who's looking for romance with a representation of older women, because this will definitely fit that for you. And I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a really good story, and I think there's more probably to come from Liz and Maggie in future, because they're only just getting started. And I really do look forward to seeing where that future ends up for them, because it's been a long time coming to get to where they are, and I think they deserve that happiness. But I hope you'll go and check out the book. I'll pop a link in the description so that you can grab yourself a copy. If you've read High October by Elena Graf, I'd love to know your thoughts on it and what you thought of it and how you found that representation of older characters. And if you haven't read it yet but you're planning to read it, it's on your to read list, or you're now really interested in reading it, again, it'd be great to hear from you, just to sort of know what you're interested in reading. And if you do grab a copy of it, I hope you enjoy it. Bye!